Section 3 of the Georgics. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shreya Sethi. The Georgics by Virgil. Translated by Harriet Waters Preston. Book 1, Part 3. But how of the autumn stars and storms to sing? Of all the sleepless vigilance owed of men, when the great heats pass and the days are shortening? Or how of the deluge-laden springtide, when, upon tender stalks, milk full and ears that way, light in the acre, falleth a swift dismay? Yea, I have seen when harvest days are early, and the first reapers the golden fields among, shredding from slender stems the ripened barley, shock as of all the winds together flung in battle. Then the very stalks uptorn by the furious hurricane aloft are borne, and whirled into the blackness of the storm, the culms and the winged stubble. Or yet again, far over the deep the clouds their squadrons form, and the mighty mass rolls inland, foul with rain, and, like a foe, the flood bursts out of the sky, and the very ether topples from on high. Lost now the happy labour of man and beast, nor seed nor furrow resists the whelming wave. The dikes are full and the running streams increased, till they roar again, and panteth each ocean cave and inlet, and by night the vivid lance of the lightning in the Father's hand doth glance. Earth shakes as the bolt descends, wild creatures flee, and slavish fear strikes into the heart of man. But he, with his flaming sword, smites Rhodope, or Athos, or the Acroceraunian peaks, while the rushing rainfall thicks the sky, and the wood sighs loud in the gale, and the sea-sandals cry. Meet is it, therefore, thou consider with awe the lights and laws of the firmament, so discern the depths where shivering Saturn doth withdraw, the orbit where the fires of Mercury burn, but venerate first the gods, and most of all great Ceres on her annual festival. In the clear season when the herbs are springing, and winter passeth away, and is no more, be ready betimes thy pious offering bringing, for the lambs are fat, and mellow the wines in store, and slumbers upon the densely wooded hill are sweet. Then let the rustic youth fulfil the ambervalia, milk and honey and wine be poured, and thrice the blessed victim round the ripening field, while jovial dancers join his train and summon, with glamour of sweet sound, Ceres into their homes. Aye, let men stay the sickle while oak chapleted they pray, and lift to the mother many an untaught lay. But the Father he hath appointed manifold, and faithful signs of torrents alike and dearth, so that we know what winds compel the cold, and the moon's monthly message unto the earth, and the tokens of sinking gales, and the warnings all, which bid the husbandman shelter his flock in stall. For when great winds are gathering for evermore, the breast of ocean heaveth distressfully, cry shrieks are heard in the mountains, and from the shore the inarticulate waves make hoarse reply, and mightily swells the murmur of the trees. Oh, barely then the keel shall escape the seas, when the fast gull cometh in from the outer deep, making the shore with a warning note and harsh. When high and dry on the sand the cormorant sleep, and the heron spurns his haunt in the lonely marsh, and overtops the very clouds in his flight. Also, when wind is coming, behold at night, how many the meteors, and how they glide swiftly adown the declivity of the dark, and the trains of whitening fire they leave how wide! How long, nor wilt thou fail by times to mark, how chaff and the dropping leaf are whirled amain, and flocks of thistledown skim the watery plain. Then shines the lightning out of the angry north, and the houses of Eurus and Zephyrus shake to the roar of the thunder, and while the wealth of the field goes forth on the swollen dikes away from the friendly shore, the mariner gathers in his rain-drenched sails. Ah, never unheralded come in the rainy gales. The soaring crane drops into the valley low. Beware of the rising, the bullock snuffs the air with nostrils wide, and hurriedly to and fro. About the lakes the twittering swallows fare, while the garrulous frogs away in the miry fen deliver their old complaining note again. Also the ant incessantly travelling the same straight way with the eggs of her hidden store, the rainbow quenching its thirst, and loud on the wing, spurning the pastures whereon they feed before. A mighty army of crows all tell of storm. So do sea-birds, various in name and form. And they, the Asian meadow that explore, in the sweet shallows of the cayster diving, when showers of spray from their shaken wings they pour, or smitten anew by zest of wanton striving, head foremost seek the wave and plunge therein, in the gay feint their plumage to make clean. Even the grim raven, albeit alone he treads waste and dry places, for the storm doth hark, and loudly hail, as it is foreknown of maids carding their flax when all without is dark, and the lamp burns dim for the fungus gathering thick, and the oil that sputters about the floating wick. But when the rain is over and gone, appear to the foreseeing eye signs no less true of empyrean calms and of sunshine clear. The hosts of the uttermost stars come out to view, no fleece trails over the heaven, and the rising moon sheddeth her light beyond her brother's boon. The halcyons loved of Thetis fold their wings. On the warm sands the beast of filthy sty his mumbled fodder no more at random flings. Mists cling to the meadows, and from the roof tree high, after sun setting, we hear the bird of night tell o'er and over the tale of her vain despite. Anon behold aloft in the limpid air the sea-hawk Nisus, and Scylla shall expiate the rape of that fatal trees of purple hair. Whithersoever she flies, he, fierce with hate, clamouring follows and loseth not his prey. Whithersoever they take their airy way, list also the rooks in their leafy homes on high. Glad creatures these, aye, singing under their breath, with burden of soft sighs. I know not why, but deem a joy unwonted gendereth such hubbub, for that now they see again their nests and their young in the sweet light after rain. Not theirs the wisdom of our humanity, divinely lent, nor more mysterious lore. They follow the changeful temper of the sky. If the wet south clear, if the rare deeps dim once more, their mood is changed as the wind-blown vapors weigh. Therefore the fields are vocal, hence the play of the happy flocks and the rook's exultant lay. But wouldest thou feel no treachery at all? In midnight calms, no doubt of the hour at hand. Look narrowly unto the swift processional of following suns and moons, and understand. When Luna rallieth first her scattered sheen, if the round be dark her misty horns between, there are floods to fall on the fields of earth and sea, if her face be bright with a virgin glow. Beware of the coming gale, for verily fair Phoebe glows in the wind. It hath aye been so. Her risings also thou shalt enumerate, and on the fourth, which governeth all her fate, if over the heaven a radiant crescent float, through the long morrow and for days many more, even to the month's end are tempests quite forgot, and grateful marine is all along the shore. Pay votive rites to Glaucus and Panopea, and to Melicete, child of Leucothea. The witness of the day star next receive, rising or setting in the wave, the tale sun told at dawning and rehearsed at eve. To the climbing constellations shall not fail. Shows he a hollow morning face withdrawn, immaculate vapours, lo, an ominous dawn, and a wind coming out of the south with peril fraught, for cattle and crops and trees. Nor less the dread when the lucid rising rays in the clouds are caught, broken and quenched, and from the saffron bed of her Tithonus aurora cometh pale. Then rings the roof to the bound of the ruthless hail, and ill shall the tender vine bough shelter then the growing grape. Yet of the westerling sun regard the changeful colours with keener ken, forecasting a deluge when his brow is done, gales when it glows, white flecks of dark on the fire bespeak a strife wherein wind and cloud conspire. On no such even will I on no such even will I my cable loose, or venture me on the deep. But if, perchance, when soul, returning the vanished day renews, if stainless all his glorious countenance, heed not light clouds, but watch with a tranquil mind the waving of forest leaves in the shrill north wind. And verily of the great orb thou mayest invite yet deeper intimations, bid him tell the innermost secrets of the dusky night, the humid hush of the brooding storm dispel, and open the storehouses where peaceful skies await fair winds. Who dares his word despise? Hath he not many a time by signs foretold the instant perils of the unconscious state, blind heavings of rebellions manifold? Did he not, pitying Rome for Caesar's fate, shroud his bright head in black till impious men trembled lest primal night were come again? Ay, but then too the earth and the ocean spake, the dogs abhorred and the words of evil tongue, and we beheld the fields of the Cyclops quake, and billows of molten rock and fireballs flung from Aetna's riven furnaces, while afar all Germany heard aghast the din of war, and shudderings as of unimagined fear passed over the Alps, while in sacred groves, long dumb, a terrible cry arose for men to hear. And pallid spectres out of the night did come. Fearfully, cattle spake unto men afraid. The earth was rent, the streams in their course were stayed. And the gods of bronze and ivory in the fanes did weep and sweat for anguish. One red day, royal Eridanus deluged all the plains, tearing the trees from dizzying heights away, swamping the beast in the stall, and evermore threads of ill omen strayed the entrails o'er. And stately cities did echo all the night to the howling of wolves. Oh, never, verily, fell thunderbolts out of air so calm and bright. Such comets blazed along the alarmed sky, till the hour came when on Philippi's plain Romans with Romans measured spears again. I, twice unstayed of pitiful providence, the Balkan slopes, the Emathian prairies, run crimson with gore of ours. O long, long hence, in those far marches, shall the labouring man upturn the rusted javelin with his share, smite with his fork the empty helm, or bear with awe the bones of the mighty to the air. Gods of the soil, my father's gods and mine, and Romulus and Mother Vesta, who defend the Tuscan Tiber and castled Palatine, suffer our young hero succour still to lend to this distracted century. Long ago, blood of our blood atoned with ample flow the broken oaths of Laomedontian Troy. But long, O Caesar, hath heaven grudged us thee, for human victories minister annoy to minds celestial. Wherefore it is we see chaos of right and wrong and terrible throes, of strife abroad and infinite crimes and woes. The plough receiveth no more its honour due. The fields are waste, their tillers are all afar. The curved sickle is taken and shaped anew into a pitiless brand. Rumours of war have suddenly in all the earth increased. At once from Germany and the utmost east of the Euphrates they arise. Today, even sister towns the bonds of peace despise, and impious Mars holds universal sway. And the world is like a charioteer who flies forth of the stalls into the course, with vain intent his violent horses to restrain. They have their will, the car recks not the rein. End of Book 1. End of Section 3. Recording by Shreya Sethi.